Good evening and welcome to Highlands Astronomical Society. We're having our live observing webcast brought to you from Benview Observatory in the Scottish Highlands. You'll be pleased to know that we actually have reasonably clear skies here in Bridge. There's a slight high haze, but that won't stop us from doing what we want to do. Now, just to introduce you to the key players tonight, we have myself on the telescope. I'm actually in the observatory. You can see me bathed in red light so I don't lose all my night vision. So I am the telescope camera operator. We also have here one of our key members of the Highlands Astronomical Society observing team, Dave Davidson. Now Dave is going to be monitoring the live chat on YouTube, so please feel free to put any questions, comments or requests into the YouTube live chat and Dave will pick them up. He'll do one of two things. He'll either type a response to your comment or he will answer live. Dave, are you able to hear us? Hello, Dave?
Yes, I hear you fine.
Cool, right. Now, one of our problems we've got, everyone, is that we have about a 15-second delay.
Already to view the heavens when you get the telescope going.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. So, Dave and I are going to try not to talk to each other because we have this delay. But he will be absolutely fine talking to yourself. I can see already on the live chat, Dave, that we've got Pauline and Pete saying hi to us and evening to us. So that's a great start. So, hello Pauline, hello Pete. Now, I'm going to move Dave and I off to the side because you don't want to be staring at our big, ugly mugs all night. Now, tonight, we've picked a few targets, potential targets, should I say, that we're going to look at. We've got everything from galaxies, globular clusters, planets, double stars. We're very ambitious. There's a couple of asteroids and comets in the night sky tonight, but there is just the typical hazy cloud that we get at this time of year, and unless that drops out of the sky, they are going to be very, very difficult to observe. Something else though, we will look at some of our old favourites. We'll probably start off with these. We've got double stars, as I say, globular clusters, plenty of planetary nebula, and well, I think we'll kick off. Dave, where should we kick off first, do you think, Dave? And there's me making the mistake of talking to Dave.
Well, let's do what they do in the quiz shows. We'll start from the top and work our way down. So I guess it's going to be Albireo, the double star.
Albireo, the double star. Okay. Right. Something else I have lined up for us. I've got a bit of sky map software. If I can get this to work. I might not be able to get this to work. This is always the thing about going live. I have a sky map, but it has a big hole in it. What have I done? Right. I was intending using a sky map called Stellarium, but it was just way too. Had too much of a draw on the power of the computer, so I've had to use another sky map called Carte du Ciel. What I'm going to try and do is see if I can find Albireo for you. So that is Beta Cygnus. There we go. Just so you know where it is. There's a constellation called Cygnus the Swan. There is its head. It has its neck and body and its wings going out. Sometimes if you look up, it's called the Northern Cross. It looks like a big cross in the southwestern sky at the moment. And Albireo is the star right at its head, right on its beak. Now this star is... Oh, and there you go, Dave. This is something you're going to... If keep an eye out for me, I sometimes talk and I forget to change the screen. Okay, so I just did that. I just talked to the title, the observing list screen, and I forgot to move over to the sky map. So anyway, I'll just take you through that sky map again. This is the constellation Cygnus the Swan. Cygnus the Swan.
I think we can see the sky map now, Eric.
Thank you, Dave. That's yes, I do tend to forget sometimes. So it's the head of the swan that we're going to be looking at. That's its head, that's its neck and body, and that's its wings. If you look up to the sky, you'll see a cross of stars. Pity we don't have the lines. The lines make it a lot easier. So what I've got is I've got my telescope hooked up to the sky map, and it actually moves the scope for me. Now I've in good old blue Peter parlance. Here's one I made already, and I've actually got the scope sitting on it. So I'm going to fade into the camera, and hopefully you can see the star Albireo. And something that you might notice about it is that Albireo is not a single star at all. There are actually two stars.
Yeah, you can see it nice and clear.
Yeah, it's a double star. And it's such a bonny double star. It's actually a double star. The two stars have very, very different colours. And I'm hoping that you can make out that one, the big one as you look at it, is a sort of creamy kind of colour. And the smaller one is a lovely bright blue colour. It's quite difficult picking that out. The tendency is I've slightly overexposed it. I wonder if I slightly reduce the exposure, whether that does anything.
Yeah, actually, Eric, some people can already see the colours in that.
Oh, excellent.
It's variously described as being green on the smaller one and sort of a yellow strawy colour on the bigger one.
Cool. You probably saw me moving off my seat there, by the way. That's because I actually have an iPad and I'm trying to look at what people are seeing. But
you can certainly distinguish the colours on the screen that we're watching now.
Okay. I don't actually have a technical description of the stars. I don't know whether you've got anything at hand, Dave, to describe why the stars are that difference in colour. I notice actually we've got some of our observing team on.
Why they're different in colour?
Yeah. Well, the blue one,
well, just their
yeah.
It's just because they're. Yeah. Well, I think the first thing to say. The first thing to say about them is that they're not really a binary system. They're two separate stars.
Yeah, they're this is a line of sight double rather than an orbiting
optically double. Different.
Yeah.
So they're one's closer than the other.
Okay. Aha. It's all right. I've just realised I can flick through to YouTube on my computer. I can see some of the live chat. Yeah, I was going to say if any of the observing team that are watching or anybody knows why the stars are a difference in colour. I'm pretty sure that the blue one is just further away, and it's a big star that's burning all its fuel at a tremendous rate, and it's so hot that it's burning blue. Somebody could maybe tell me whether that's right or not. Yeah, that's right, Pauline. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad I can see that. That's good. Right. Now, I think we should probably move on. Dave, is there a... wonder where we could go next. You got any suggestions off that list?
Yep. Well, let's have a look at the globular cluster M, the one that's on the next one down on the list. That was quite very high in the sky just now, so it should be nice and clear.
Is that the Hercules one? Okay. I think you mean the Great Globular Cluster in Hercules.
Yes.
Okay, I shall... Right,
you have to wait 15 seconds.
Okay, if the sky map's up there, Dave, do you want to talk people through it while I try and get the camera onto it?
Yep. Let's have a look at the sky map. Okay. This is the one we're going to be looking at, M13. It's just clearing up on my screen as well now. M13, it's a globular cluster. This is a constellation of Hercules.
Okay, I'm just spending time getting the exposure and things right, Dave. But I think I've managed to do it.
Strangely, I mean, on a really clear night, you could see this with a naked eye. You'd need a very dark sky.
Okay, I have actually managed to locate it. I've got to play about, I think, with the exposure.
You can certainly see it with binoculars. It's
You see anything on the screen, Dave?
Right, there we are now. The Great Globular Cluster. This is one of the biggest ones that you can see.
Okay, I'm going to play about with some of the exposures here. So just bear with me. I'm going for 15-second exposures. This is a globular cluster. It's very old, a very old object in the sky. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now this is something where I can play about with, and I can probably stack this.
That's getting better now, Eric.
Okay. I'm going to try and do a thing called live stack. I was talking to Neil Weston of Aberdeen Astronomical Society, and he, after the last test session that we did, suggested that we try live stacking. Which I had tried before when I did my astrophotography, but I found it very difficult to use. But I have to say, after listening to the fella,
yeah, that's much better.
This
There we
camera,
go.
Dave, is so sensitive. So sensitive. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, I mean, there must be millions of stars in there, or hundreds of thousands of stars in
Some
that
people
glob.
describe it as being like a white spider with a the core bit
Yeah.
legs sticking out the side.
Uh-huh. Okay. Um, Actually, I'm going to come out of livestock. I'm not convinced that is the best way to look at it. Okay, so I've gone live again. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to play about with the gain. Because I see, I can actually
Yeah, I
see in
see
this.
Pete saying that he's asking how far away I am between your observatory. He reckons it's between the moon and Mars. I think it takes a little longer from Mars.
Cool. Yeah. Can you? There are actually quite a few. There's a lot of different coloured stars in there.
That's our 15-second delay.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't worked out how to overcome that, unfortunately. I'm sure we will for the next session. What's that looking like, Dave, on the
Yeah,
screen?
yeah.
Can you see there's a thing in it? You know, you described it as a spider.
That looks very good.
Okay.
Very good indeed.
Can you notice in the middle of it there's a little cross. Some people describe it as a propeller in the middle of it. Sorry, I'm just mucking about too much with it. Oh, I'll tell you what's happening. I know why I'm having a problem. There's a little bit of haze come over.
Yeah.
That's what's causing my problem. Okay, right, let's see. Is that slightly better? I don't know. I was fighting against
Yeah,
nature there, Dave.
see
There was not a lot I
that's
could
making
do
a
with that.
difference now.
Yeah, I'll take the gain down a bit.
No, I think the haze is obscuring quite a bit of it.
Yeah, that's just, unfortunately, that is the classic of observing in the north of Scotland in the early autumn. Maybe that, hopefully this will sort it a little bit. No. Yeah, I'm forcing it a little bit, haven't I?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a perfectly good picture there.
Yeah, I've just lost it again, Dave, but I'll come back. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
So, is there anything clear that you can swing to?
Okay, let me just look out the aperture. Just bear with me for a short while. There's actually quite a lot of... It's actually quite a lot of cloud just come in, Dave. Unfortunately, my goodness. An awful lot. Now, what we would normally do in the observatory is we would retire to the warm room and go and have a cup of coffee or hot chocolate or something. But I really am struggling. That went from crystal clear to cloudy in about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, for what it's worth, Eric, while we were talking earlier before we set this up, it was cloudy here when you had clear skies,
Uh-huh.
and it's now clear here.
Right, okay. Right, so it looks like everyone. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and do Pauline's suggestion.
So hopefully there's a better chance of
Right, I'm going to try Pauline's suggestion and nip over and try and find Mars. Okay, I can see it through the cloud. Whether it's clear enough.
going to Mars.
Yeah, well, yeah, so to speak. Not Mars as I've typed into my search box. Okay. There is Mars. There we go. Right, I'm going to move the scope to Mars, see if we can find Mars. And hopefully there's enough brightness. The scope is travelling the long way round, as usual. Oh, there's Mars actually. I think might be lucky. Might be lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can see the.
Well, I was out last night trying to take photographs of Mars, and it was very, very difficult. It was, even though it was at a great altitude, it was very, very watery.
Aha. Yeah, it's like looking at a brick sometimes through a swimming pool, isn't it? Yeah, I think I'm.
Yeah.
I think I'm. Oh, I think I'm stuck. I mean, you should be able to see Mars with a millisecond exposure, let alone a multi-second exposure. I'll let you see what I've got, but it's not a lot. Not a lot at all.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna.
Right, we're still on the star screen at the moment. Now, here we go.
It should be, yeah. It's looking. I've had to. Oh, Mars is blooming typical. It's Here we go. Hang on. See if I can find it. Right, we're a bit out, so I'm going to try and find it manually. Okay.
I remember watching one of Patrick Moore's early Sky at Night programs where he was trying to do this with a big 12-inch telescope in someone's back garden, and they had nothing but cloudy sky. I couldn't see anything.
Well, I've got it. I've actually got it. I think you can hopefully see it. But you can see the
Yes,
you can see the
see
cloud round
yeah.
it, can you? I'm going to try and centralise it a little bit more for you.
You can make out that it's a disk.
Good. Good. If I can get it in the centre, you see I can... Oh, crikey. My goodness, this camera is so sensitive. Well, the whole scope and everything's so sensitive. I'm just going to slow that down a bit so I can get it. You can definitely see it's a disk, there's no doubt about that. And that, of course, is the difference between the stars and the planets when you're viewing them through a scope. Right, I'm going to turn this gain right down. I'm going to zoom in.
Perhaps if you were to take the gain really way down, Eric, you might just get some detail on it if it was.
I've got it at 0.
Here we go.
Okay, now I'm going to take the exposure down as well. The problem is we're looking through cloud, but we'll see. Getting there, Dave.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I think you can see it's orangey colour. The trouble is when you
Yeah, that's
make
much
the
better.
exposure too small, it does start to
That is much,
wobble
much
about.
better.
Yeah, I actually can just
I
see
thought
some
I could
detail
see
in
the
there.
Curiosity rover for a minute there.
Very good. Mag minus 2.36. Somebody's saying whoever Space Gazer 14 is. So that's very bright. It is very bright. I managed to get a pretty decent picture of it, even though it was again hazy cloud. But that was coming up for about midnight. You need to, when you're taking pictures of Mars, you really need to be about 2, 3 in the morning at this time of year, don't you? I mean,
Aye. Actually, from its closest back on the 13th, it's diminished in size quite substantially and lost a fair bit of its magnitude.
yeah. Interestingly, if you do two, say 3, 4, 5,000 frames.
I'm not sure if it's wishful thinking, but I'm sure I can just see dark areas on it there now.
I can. I think in the middle. You mean?
Yes. No, it's just exactly where they should be. You know, it's quite strong in the middle and it fades out to the edges.
Well, I've just noticed James Hitchmough's on. Welcome, James. I think you would enjoy doing a bit of this. It's great fun. It's technically very challenging.
James. Hi, James. Long time no see.
I'll tell you one thing you can see. The actual colour is pretty good. I mean, it's that, pale orangey red. It's a beautiful colour in the sky, and I think the camera's actually picked up pretty accurately the colour of Mars.
Yeah.
And I think I'm
No,
starting.
there's definitely moments when it stops wobbling and it's clear. You can quite definitely see marks on it.
I'm standing back in my observatory looking at the computer screen now about 1.5 meters away. And actually, you can, I know it sounds odd, but you can see more detail further away than when I've got my nose pressed up against my laptop screen. Right, Dave, I am going. The sky has cleared again, reasonably. So I am now going to try and find something else. What should we go for?
Excellent.
What shall we go for? Shall we go for another favourite?
Let's have a look at our... Well, let's do this Cigar Galaxy.
Oh, hang on.
Well, the Cigar Galaxy. We were going to try and see if they would fit into the screen in one go, but...
Okay. Right, I'll give it a go. This is very ambitious. Now, Cigar's M81, isn't it? So, let's see.
Yeah. M81.
Okay. Now,
it's certainly not one for a hazy night, that's for sure, but if you want to see any detail in it. So here we go. It's in Ursa Major. I always manage to find it using if you're just using binoculars and star hopping, then those two stars at the end of the bear's head, it's about the same distance out as a form a triangle.
I forgot to move the scope. I've moved the dome. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to remind you of that.
Yeah, it's alright, don't worry. You probably heard it rattling about. Okay, I don't know. Oh, you know what, Dave? There is something there. You see
Yeah,
something? I'll just stick the gain up to 90 odd. That's unity gain
yeah.
for us.
Pete's saying M82 looks like a 1 and M82 doesn't, which you're quite right. That's exactly how you remember
Yeah.
it.
Right, I think we've got M82 there, but I'm going to just check. I'm going to bump the exposure up to 30 seconds, guys. So you just bear with us. These are fainter objects, so they need just a little bit more picking out.
Yeah, to see it in the first place and then adjust it afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot to switch the camera on for you guys. There you go. Try to spin too many plates.
See a message for Pete as well. The dumbbell will certainly do that one because the last time we tried this, we did do the dumbbell just as we were finishing off, and that's a very exciting one because it's
Yeah.
very clear.
Right, now I haven't hit M81, but I've hit M82. And I think you can see that, okay.
Oh, that's M82.
Yeah. Can you see the sort of spiral arm structure? I'm going to try and get that out a bit more.
Yeah.
I wonder how I can do that. Alright, I'm going to try I'm going to try a 40-second exposure. So you'll have to wait 40 seconds, guys, but
It's very difficult to see what the scale is on that screen, but what you're seeing of the galaxy there is purely the core. The arms are a way out.
yeah, I can just see the arms.
Yeah. On that telescope, they'll go out a long way.
Oh yeah. I think you can see these, Dave. Now, you've got to bear in mind
If
that
you see that close double star off to the left there,
yeah, this this one
the
here.
spiral arms are actually the tips of one of them will be very close to that. No, further up. The one further up than that.
Okay. I can't quite see where that is. I can see there's a spiral arm here, you see, and there's other ones just down here. It's a bonny galaxy. This one.
Yeah.
This is a favourite for astrophotographers. I wonder if I can use the. Oh, crikey! I'll use the histogram for the live stack and see if I can do anything with it.
Try the live starting.
I'm trying. Yeah, that's where I'm going.
For a question there from David Dorr, is it at an oblique angle or face on? Yes, it is at an oblique angle. It's It's not hugely tilted. It,
Okay, I'm just playing a little bit here, Dave.
well, that's more like it now. That's fantastic, Eric.
You sure? You can see the spirals, right? You can't see the detail, but it's a bit grainy. Oh,
Wow.
crikey, what have I done there? Oh, that's getting not too bad.
Now, that's a fantastic picture. If you, bearing in mind that if you have even a telescope, you're going to struggle to be able to see that kind of detail in it.
Yeah. Well, it's literally over the top of my house, right? So my scope is just getting it. It is, um, it's pretty hazy, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think you can definitely see the spiral arms in this.
Oh, there's no question about that. You can definitely see the spiral arms.
Yeah. Cool. That's good.
That's what I'm saying. You know, that camera is giving you what you would get from a longer exposure.
Yes.
You know, because just through an eyepiece in a telescope, you would find that very difficult to see any of that.
Yeah. Where I'm finding this difficult is that there's obviously a bit of cloud, and sometimes you can see the image actually brightens up. Um, so it's very difficult to get a constant, the exposure conditions right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's not bad. Right, I need to try and find M81. So which way do I need to go again? You always go the wrong way, don't you? Right. Let's see.
I go, yeah, left, I think.
Right, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to go back to the map. And I'm going to try and electronically, manually work out how to move the scope gently up to where I want it to go. Right. Oh, wrong way. Right. Let me see. Let's reduce the exposure so I can see roughly where I am. This is real live navigation, isn't it? Oh, right, hold on. Kick out live start. I think I'm close. I think I've found it. I think I found it, Dave. Oh, there we go. Right, it's on the right hand side, so I just need to move a little bit to the right, whichever way that is. Right can be left in a reflecting telescope. Which way is that now? Alright, here we go. I'm going to try something. Just please bear with me, this is really tricky. I think I'm going the right way. I don't know whether... Okay, I'm going to put it on the camera, guys, so you can see what I'm seeing. Tell me if you can see it, Dave.
Well, we can't see it at the moment, Eric.
Oh, right, okay, sorry, I've got a delay. I've got a delay.
Still on the star map. There we go.
Okay.
Yes, you can see it.
Okay, cool.
No.
You definitely see it? Right, I'm going to give it a little bit more exposure and things. This is a really tricky object to see, so if we've got this, this is pretty impressive. I'm giving it 15,
Yes, you can
16 seconds.
100% see it. All we need now is just to brighten it up a bit.
Okay. Now this is a star-forming galaxy. Again, I've taken a few pictures of this one. It's a fantastic subject. There's so many different features to it. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, I'm happy. I'm a happy boy. I'm going to move it.
Yeah, that's great, Eric.
I'm trying to move it into the centre so I can do something with it. I want to really zoom in on it if I can. Right, I'm going to reduce the exposure because I just want to get enough to be able to navigate the thing. Oh, wrong way. If there's a choice of two ways, you'll pick the wrong way.
It's probably worth saying that for anybody that's interested in doing astrophotography, or anybody doing astrophotography, M81 and M82 are really good targets for even just a camera and a lens.
Okay, I think I've got that centered enough. Right, I am now going to boost this. I'm going to zoom. I'm going to center in on it. Okay, and I'm now going to give it 25 seconds. I think we should be able to see some structure and perhaps some colour out of this. I'm quite impressed with that at the moment. Just have to hope the clouds don't roll in the interim.
I think you'll definitely see colour because the colour shows up on a relatively short exposure on a DLSR camera.
Look at that. I'll zoom out a little bit actually. Can you see that, Dave?
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, you can just make out that there's a sort of pinkish area in the middle. Yes.
Yeah? Okay. I'm going to actually boost my red pixels a little bit, see if anything comes up. When you have things like hydrogen alpha filters, which bring out the red colour of those gases, you can actually see the gases being squeezed out basically of that galaxy. How's that looking?
Yeah. Actually, it looks more like an explosion that's occurred in the middle of it. That material that comes out as the red fingers out of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they think that M81 and M82 have actually collided, and they certainly still interact, and that it's the gravitational pull has put enough energy into the system such that it is actually forming new stars. Pauline can maybe tell me if that's right, because I think Pauline knows a bit more about it than I do.
Yeah. Hard to know how they can work that out, but
well, they're astrophysicists and I'm just a retired whiskey maker. Well, I'm very pleased with that, Dave. I was not expecting to be able to see that as well at this time of year, and certainly not at this time of night. I can tell you that's pretty low in my. It's just above the houses where I live, so that is pretty good. A couple of years ago, I would have never been able to see that because the old orange street lights would have just
Yeah,
polluted
no,
that
that's a
out for me.
spectacular picture.
Yeah, I think that's amazing what you can do now. You know, with modern technology, from a home observatory. It's just superb. Okay. Where would you like to go now, Dave?
Well, particularly this. I'll never forget that night we were at our own observatory, and we hooked that camera up and got a picture of the Crab Nebula.
I do remember that, and we were like, we bairns at school, we were so excited.
Sort of speechless, yeah. Well, Dumbbell Nebula, I think there was a request for Eric, so that should be quite prominent in the sky anyway, so let's try that.
Okay, so we shall go back. We'll go back to the star map.
Or are we going to call it the Dumbbell Nebula tonight, or are we going to go for the Atwell core?
I prefer, my personal preference is the Apple core.
Atwell core.
That's just my preference because I remember it was actually my daughter when
Right,
I
again, this is a fairly easy one to find in the sky. It's
yeah. Well, I've put the map up for you. You'll hear my scope going.
just north of the end star in the Sagitta, the arrow.
And I'm going to remember to turn the dome. That helps. Mars is very bright now.
Yeah, turn the dome.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
This is a great little nebula, even for small telescopes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just check my camera. Where's my camera? My goodness, I've got so many tracks and trails on this thing with it moving there. Right. Where are we? I'm going to reduce the exposure till I just roughly fit. Oh, Dave, we found it. I know it's there. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the camera. It'll take a little while to get my exposure settings right, but I do know it's there. So I'm going to up the exposure to 15 just now. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to move the thing just a bit. Okay. It's right in the bottom. Right, I am going to have to again move this. I think I'll need to sync my scope a little bit. Okay, where are we? I can see it in the bottom. Right, I am going to see if that does anything. This is a good one, Dave. I can tell this is going to be pretty good. Oh, I've gone the wrong way.
Yeah, I can see the Atwell core already.
Yeah, you won't in a short while because I've just gone and put it off the screen.
Here's a message for Vicky Tevin, who's a total newbie here tonight, and she said that she's never seen anything like this.
You're very welcome, Vicky. This is what it's all about. We're amateur astronomers, and we just love to share what we're doing with everyone. Where are you based, Vicky? Right, I'm going to get this into the centre because this really is worth.
Thurso.
Oh, Thurso. Oh, now you would have got some pretty nice Northern Lights last night, I would have thought.
Did you happen to see the Aurora Borealis last night, Vicky? That would have been spectacular.
Okay. I think I am pretty well ready to start doing long exposures on this one.
Aye, that's a shame. I did see some photographs that people had taken from Caithness today, and they were very bright last night.
Aha. Ah, you'll like this, Dave. You'll like it.
Like I was saying earlier, this Dumbbell Nebula or Apple Core Nebula, you can definitely see it with the binoculars, and a small telescope will show you pretty much what we're looking at just now, although smaller.
Can you see it now? You can actually see the colour as well.
Yes. It just needs a little bit more definition, Eric.
Yeah,
Yeah, see the colour.
It's very hard
You
to
could
do it.
improve the definition or contrast, perhaps.
I don't have it. There's no such. There's no. I've got to play with the gain and things like that. It's very tricky, especially in this hazy sky as well. But I'll keep on trying. If it was a clear sky, that would just be popping out, no problem. I'll tell you what I can do. I can actually reduce the field of view quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it actually looks almost three-dimensional in a wee telescope.
Aha. Right. I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to up the frames per second. It's going to... Whoop, bloody hell. Well done.
It's probably as good as you're going to get, Eric.
Okay. I think I've probably made it just a bit too big. I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to pop out a little bit.
It's a bit too big.
It is. It is. I was just trying to. I can improve the speed of my camera shots if I zoom in on it. But what we're done. There you go. You see. You try and improve it and you wreck it. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, it's back. Yeah, it's just tricky, Dave. It's tricky because of the haze.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I would say. You can see it's blue in the center, and you can see the red fringes on the edge. And you can quite clearly see that somebody's taken a bite out of it on both sides.
Yeah. Now, of course, no one said what a planetary nebula like this is, Dave.
Well, no, because it looks like a planet, I guess. It's one of Messier's objects where he catalogued just a very brief history of that, but he catalogued all these fuzzy things in order to while he was searching for comets, he kept a note of all these things, so he didn't keep confusing himself with between comets and nebula. But because they looked disc shaped, that they were classed as planetary. They may even have thought they were planets.
Yeah, but it's a star that has basically, it's at the very end of its life cycle. You know, it's burned up all its hydrogen, or fused all its hydrogen into all the elements that it can possibly, and the star, you know, all the materials, their gravity wants to just collapse in on itself, and normally the energy from the fusion reactions keeps the thing stable, but once it's burned once it can't produce any more energy, it collapses in on itself, it implodes, and then all the elements then get thrown out eventually as in a bubble, in a ripple. And that's what we're seeing. We're looking through the ripple of elements that give off red light, green light, blue light. And if you use a sulfur filter, you'll get blue, yellow light. Oh, sorry, it's red light, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Right, Dave, where now?
Well, let's try looking at one of your... I haven't got the list in front of me here. I can only see the screen. Now, there you go. The Ring Nebula, I guess, is...
Oh, the Ring Nebula, that's not far away, is it? That's not far away. Let me find that. Okay, now I'm going to sync on that one, so hopefully when I...
Yeah, and it's also on the same sort of theme as we're talking about here. It's a very distinct...
yeah, okay.
A very distinct example of that.
Okay. We are...
planetary nebula that we were talking about.
Okay, so that's where I'm headed for. Move the dome, Eric, move the dome. Okay, you see where we're headed for? I think you'll like this.
Yeah, so just at the bottom of Lyra, sort of halfway between the two stars at the bottom of the Lyre. This is another one that's... Wow, there you go. That's really fantastic, Eric. And this is one that always shows up colours very easily.
Yeah, so I'm just typing in to Pete. He's wanting to look for the ET cluster, but I don't think my field of view is going to be wide enough. Oh, I think Dave Orr likes this. I think a few people like it. I'll try and zoom in on it, actually. Okay. Oh, yeah. Actually, not bad at all, guys.
Got a wow from Dave.
I've got a wow from a few people there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a wow one.
Yeah. But even actually, through an eyepiece, through a proper glass eyepiece out in the field, the Ring Nebula and the Dumbbell Nebula, they are both fantastic objects. These are the type of things that start to get you hooked on practical, observing astronomy.
They do.
Now again, that star, that
Yeah,
star's
I
got...
think there's no question about that. They're they're like the same reaction as you get from people seeing the rings of Saturn for the first time.
Yeah. See, this is another star that's got to the end of its life cycle. It's used up, it's fused its hydrogen to helium through, basically some of the periodic table, and eventually it can't fuse anymore. It doesn't have enough energy to maintain its structure that wants to collapse in on itself, and so it implodes and then throws itself out. There's a very, very bright dwarf star in the middle, which is basically, it's analogous with a glowing ember. It's not that, but it's analogous with a glowing ember, and it's that's managing to let us see the elements drifting out there. Now, you have to think of this in 3 dimensions. It's actually more like a rugby ball shape, which is expanding all the time, and all the elements are moving through space at a tremendous speed. That good, Dave? Aberdeen Astronomical Society. Now, is that one person or the whole society?
Yes, that's a fantastic picture, Eric. I mean, for a night like this, and no opportunity to go out with a telescope together, I think that's really is spectacular.
Excellent. Actually, Pauline has just reminded me, Dave, there that the smaller stars, the ones that are like our sun, average-sized stars, they only confuse as far as carbon and oxygen. The very, very large ones, like the big blue one, I think that we were looking at in Albireo, when it comes to the end of its life, it can fuse up to a few more elements, but it's pretty limited. The rest of the elements come from much more dramatic events like supernova and things like that, if I remember rightly. Oh, Pete's got me on my TV. Now, he says it looks really good. I don't know whether Pete's talking about me and you, Dave, or the actual astronomy object.
Yeah, right.
Up to iron, Pauline's saying. I've just realised, Dave, I can actually watch the live chat typing quite easily. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Now, bear in mind, this is not a perfect observing night by any means. It is very hazy.
Yeah.
But the camera, the astro camera I've got in here, it's a Chinese-made one called ZWO. No idea what company that stands for, but it's extremely sensitive. And it's also a colour camera. Obviously, it picks up. It's got a framework of red, green, blue pixels. So it's absolutely perfect for this. I bought it for doing astrophotography, and like Dave said earlier, it was last year that we started to think, wait a minute, we can maybe use this for observing sessions, and we initially were looking to pipe in our observing from our dome at Culloden, the observatory at Culloden, into the Warren Room, so that people could actually observe in comfort, and if people were less able, had some mobility restrictions or whatever, they could also get a chance to observe. And we got that working very successfully. And of course now with this, the restrictions that are imposed on us all with the virus going about, we've just taken it one stage further and are now webcasting basically across the world, to be honest. We're doing live observing and letting everyone see the objects that thrill us. So it's a fantastic thing to do. I'm really, really pleased. Really pleased that our Highlands Astronomical Society has been able to do this for people. It's very, very good.
Right, are we moving on through the list now, Eric?
Well, I just we can pick from it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it up for you again, Dave, and let you have another look.
I noticed that somebody's asked to see NGC 891, which might well be a bit of a push for that telescope.
I know who that is. I bet that's James. I'll bet that's James Hitchwell. I think that was one of his favourites. Right, what was it? NGC 891.
No, it's well, I don't know who that is. No, it's not.
It's
It's
not. It was
uh,
891, though. Yeah.
well, I mean, give it a go. I mean, it's a fantastic object to have a
Yeah,
look
I'm
at.
gonna.
I mean, there's
Right.
no doubt
Okay.
about that. With the dust lane, I think you might struggle. Yeah, 891. Yeah.
Let's be optimistic, Dave. Okay. Right. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the map on just to show you. You can talk us through where it is, Dave.
Oh, it was James.
Aha, I see. That was always one of his favourites. And he also used to like Ulmark, I think, the double star at the end of.
891. Yeah, well, there
Okay.
you go.
Right, so it's pretty close to Andromeda and Perseus, right in between them.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I am going to put this. Let's see, where am I now?
Obviously, this has got absolutely no visual clues to this one at all. So you can't see anything with a naked eye. You can't see anything with binoculars. You really do need to know where it is.
So I'm taking. I hope I can. Yeah. Okay. I hope my camera is aligned. Right. I'll turn the dome, Dave.
Yeah, turn the dome. As a kind of guide, you can see the from sort of 2/3 of the way up from Beta Perseus all the way up to that star at the end of Andromeda.
Okay. I've got to rely on my scope being aligned here. Right, I'm going to flick over to the camera. Oh, Dave, you'll never believe this. James,
Yeah,
I
because
think you're going to like this,
you'll
James.
either have to, because you probably not even see it when you.
I think you'll be pretty amazed.
There it is. Yeah, it's right in the button.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, James, for that target. That goes on the list.
You might want to try the live stack on that one, Eric.
Yep. Okay, but I've got it right. I'll need to center it first, so just bear with me. I'm going to drop the exposure a bit so that when I move the stars, I can see them. Is it going the right way? No, it's not going the right way. See, every time I do that. Okay. Right, I'm just going to put the exposure up again so I can check I've got this. Right, so what's that up to, about 14, 15 seconds? Aha, not bad. I think that's pretty close to the centre. Yeah, okay.
Certainly a really exciting one to have a look at this. I'll never
Oh, is it
forget the
no?
first time I saw it. You know, the dust lane is so prominent that
What's it they call this one? Was it the Twilight Zone one? See, that a lot of you guys will never remember what the Twilight Zone was. I used to watch Twilight Zone on the black and white telly when I was a kid. It was on quite late at night, so I had to put the telly on really quiet so my mum and dad didn't.
I do.
Oh, you will. But I'm sure there's a lot younger folk than us. I can't remember the actual. Was it not the opening credits or something? I can't remember. Dear me, was it?
That's an incredible picture, Eric.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. I'm playing about with that. I know Pauline says, "Will you stop being trying to be such a
Yeah.
perfectionist?" Not that.
Actually, it's probably the one that's most commonly used is the Sombrero Galaxy because that's got a massive disk in it.
Oh yeah, going the wrong way, guys. It's all right. Not bad.
That is really staggering to be able to see that.
Oh, just really chuffed that Dave. Sorry, James. James is on, and that he reminded me of that one because you can't have an observing session with James without trying to see that one. Now, I wonder if I can zoom in. Oh, look at this. Look at this, guys. Now, you can quite clearly see the dustling. This
Yeah,
is an
I think
edge-on spiral,
Aberdeen
isn't it?
Astronomy Society is quite right. Outer limits is
Ah, outer
more
limits. That's what
likely
it was.
than the twilight zone.
Yeah, cool. Oh, there's Pete saying that the Northern Lights might be showing. This could be a long night for people. I think
Anyway, we've
Vic is
got our
enjoying
own
it.
twilight zone here.
Actually, James is correct. You can actually see structure in there. If this was a better night and that was a bit higher up, I'll tell you that would be. Well, it's actually quite high up. That would be just so much better. But it's nice to know that this camera or this setup is able to pick up this thing. I'm going to clear that stack because I must have moved it. Right, that will only improve. Very good. Yeah, so I think that's like a side-on galaxy, and there's a great big dust. There must be a massive dust in between us and it, and it's what causes that. I just saw that move, but that must have been that must be a delay. Yeah. I see Mike's on the beer.
Yeah, quite right, Mick. It is a great thing to be able
Yeah,
great to be able to do this without being frozen to death.
yeah. Now the thing with this, guys, is see, this is recorded, so the poor quality of the commentator will be recorded as well for posterity. But if you want to look back on this session, please feel free to do. You should be able to get it through exactly the same link as you got into it tonight. Just wonderful to know that we can do this. Right, are there any other suggestions? I quite enjoyed doing that now. I'm very confident now that I can find things like that. Because what's the magnitude of that? Mick, have you got the stellarium? That'll give you the magnitude of NG891. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I think that it's about 10.8 or something, Eric.
Oh, really? Flippin' heck. I'm confident, Dave, that this camera would pull out more on a clear night.
Oh, 10.1 according to the chaps there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, you remember that that camera is designed really for taking photographs that you go away and process.
Yeah.
You're looking at them. Fair enough, they're stacked, but
yeah. The other thing I'm doing,
definition
Dave.
that you could bring out with a photograph.
Yeah. I've got this. It's a cooled camera as well. I forgot to mention. So I've got this cooled to minus 20 degrees C. So there's also there's no like hot pixels or anything like that. So it's putting it into the best the best state to try and give us a chance at seeing these type of objects. I obviously nudged the camera, so there we go. Okay. Oh, Mag 11.7.
Yeah.
We've got a.
I think Pete's asking what's the live stack software you're using. It'll be SharpCap, I think.
Yeah, it's SharpCap. It's there's a couple that are good, but SharpCap's the one that I got recommended, and they're all a steep learning curve. That's the trouble with them. And once you've learned it, I'm certainly loath to try and learn another one. I'm sure there could be better ones, but
yeah. So SharpCap will do this live stacking for certain cameras. It doesn't work on
no.
all different types of cameras, but it certainly works on the higher end ZWO ones.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go to something mundane, like a planet?
Yeah, Uranus.
Okay. Let's have a go. That didn't have to move very far, that was good. Right, I'm hoping that's it. Is it? Maybe not. Right, I'll just check. I don't think that is it. That's a bright star, isn't it? Let me see if I can find it on the old-fashioned finder scope.
Yeah, I think that's a star. You should be able to see a disk with that telescope. Aye.
Oh yeah, I know I'm out. Okay, let me see if I can get this. That looks more like it. I think there's a bit of colour coming up here. Yeah. That looks more like it, Dave.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh. Going the wrong way. I'll zoom in it once I get it a bit more central. Okay. See what we can do. Okay, so like Mars, it's disc shaped rather than a spot of light. I'll see if I can play about with this, get the colour a bit more, because I've slightly overexposed it, I think. Okay, I'm coming down to about quarter of a second. Right. It looks turquoisey, would that be right? I've reduced the exposure a bit, so what you're now actually seeing is you're seeing the atmospheric effect. It's actually quite low in this, relatively low in the
Yeah,
sky.
you can definitely see colour in it.
Yeah. And again, this is another one, Dave, that you would use your video setting to record lots of frames per second. And you might get 5,000-6,000
Yeah, I'm
frames.
not sure if somebody's asking, David Orr is asking if you can see the moons on them.
That's a good question. I don't know. I've never been a planetary observer for that. I've seen the moons
I
around
don't think
Jupiter
you
and
would be able to see the
some
moons on
around
that telescope.
Mars and Jupiter and Saturn, but never really. I would doubt it. I don't think they're that big. But cool though. There's something else. You can see how it's wobbling about.
Yeah, I don't think you would see the moons on it.
No, I doubt it. No. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to justify sending space probes out, would they? Okay, guys, I'm going to go for one more object, Dave, so I'm going to let you pick this one.
Yeah, well, James is saying that the brightest moon's at plus 13.87, so the answer is no.
Definitely not. No, I doubt it.
Okay,
I doubt it.
put
Yeah.
out that list again.
Okay, let me see. There's my wee bit of software. Here we go. Right, so observing targets. Let's fade that in. Okay.
Well, or we could satisfy one of the requests. I mean, we've got ones on there, but perhaps James was asking if we could have a look at the fireworks galaxy in Cygnus. That's magnitude 9.6, so you'd see that one if you were able to see.
Has it got an NGC?
891, you'd certainly be able to see that one.
Has it got an NGC number?
It's NGC 6946. NGC 6946.
Were you ever a bingo caller in your day, Dave? No, I don't think I've ever looked at this. Oh, and it's gone past the meridian, so I've got a swing going on.
I've never had that pleasure, Eric, no.
It's just the way you read the number out twice in that very clear manner. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's pretty high, up towards the zenith actually. Now, so that might be very favourable. Right, I better give it a bit of welly to try and find it. So, what will I give it? What shall I give it, guys?
I think this is a face onto a spiral galaxy, isn't it?
Was it? Okay, right. I'll give it 15 seconds. It's a pure guess, and I've hopefully got it in the frame. Right, I'll put the camera on for you guys so you're seeing what I'm seeing.
Well, you've been right every time so far.
Well, someone, I think I've got it. I think it's very, very faint in the middle there. But I'm going to give it...
It's right in the middle there, Eric.
Yeah, right. I'm going to give this 30 seconds, okay? So you just... again, just be patient and we'll see what we've got. But I could definitely see something hazy right bang in the middle there. Now, what was this? Because James got any information on it? You can type in some information for us. That would be useful. Oh, there's Dave setting fire to his house.
I'll see what I can do.
3 seconds to go. Oh, you know something? That's actually bonny. I can see there's spiral arms on here. Right. I want to Right. I'm going to let you guys just have a quick look at that. You see that, Dave? But I think I'm going to go for a full minute's exposure on this. But that is, you can definitely see.
Yeah, I see it.
Spiral arm. Now, Dave, see, there's James just giving me a photographic target for this time of year. Right, I'm going to give it a full minute. So, you've probably got time to go to the loo if you're quick. And just to let you know, Dave, we've got 30 people watching this. That's rather good for a Highlands Astronomical public observing session. Right, we're halfway through the exposure time.
I think that's more than we'd usually get at our own observatory.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, it's good. Lovely. It's great to see. There is definitely a demand for practical observing still. Oh, here we go. Oh, yes. It's popping out. James, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Face on spiral. According to the experts here, it's 25 million light years away.
Oh, it's that close. That's got a really, something, it's actually got like an elongated middle with something else. And there's actually, I don't know what that is. Something hazy there as well. Fuzzy. Don't know what that is.
Yeah, it is actually. It's more oblong than it's spiral.
Yeah.
I mean, it's face onto us, but
yeah,
the arms are in your yeah. If you see, the arms in your picture are to the bottom left and the upper right corner.
Yeah. Yeah, they're I can very easily see them. Now, I'm just looking there. Hermione, obviously a Harry Potter fan.
So
She's told her mum in Belgium. Is your mother on from Belgium, Hermione? You're very welcome, James. Thank you very much for suggesting that. Right, guys. Now, I've had a great night. However, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm getting a tad cold. So I'm going to have to call it a night because as I say, it's just a wee bit cold.
Yeah, I'll bet you are.
So what I want to do is I'm going to flick on to the Zoom host again. Dave, can I just...
think it's a really good night, Eric. I think you should say thanks to everyone for joining us tonight because they've also made this special for them.
Cool. I've really enjoyed doing it. And we'll definitely do it again. This is going to be... We'll have to get our little observing team program back up and running, I think. And James... Because you're working from home, you might have a little bit of time in the evenings. If you want to join in, I'll give you a phone call. By the way, it's great to see you, and great suggestions as always. And you always remember the numbers, the NGCs and things. So it's a great help. Anyway, guys, I'm going to fade out. There's going to be a little 2-minute countdown. So if any of you guys have still got things to chat about for the final 2 minutes before the thing shuts down, please do. But thanks all for watching. Clear skies, and keep your heads up.
You want a hand?